The rest of the news, Wednesday, the 1st of February, and the trees are budding out already here in the Dallas area, and it's not even the middle of what's supposed to be winter. Lana Del Rey's debut album, Born to Die, released yesterday and topped the iTunes charts in 14 countries, including the ones that matter. It's number one. The reviews, Rolling Stone, dull and dreary. The Boston Globe, a staggering disappointment. Sounds like filler Lady Gaga left in the trash bin. And the LA Times asked the question everybody wants answered: how a young fiction moves from Nowheresville to Saturday Night Live. Well, maybe Brian Williams could provide one of his spectacular answers. If released on vinyl, that's the platform Steve Jobs would have listened on if he'd wanted. Neil Young said yesterday that phonograph records was what Mr. Jobs played on his stereo when he came home from the office. No questions left unanswered yesterday in Florida. The award for Best Super PAC goes to Stephen Colbert for Americans for a Better Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Former San Francisco mayor and current Lieutenant Governor of California, Gavin Newsome, said, "I applaud Stephen Colbert exposing the absurdity of our current political financing system, and I like his haircut." Best male vocal goes to the president for Al Green's Let's Stay Together, easily topping Mitt Romney's version of America the Beautiful, whose words were written by Catherine Lee Bates. She was a professor of English literature at Wellesley. Ms. Bates rode the train across America in May of 1893 to teach for the summer at Colorado College in Colorado Springs, traveling across Kansas with its amber waves of grain, and ascending to the top of Pikes Peak by mule-drawn cart for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. She was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1970. Irony has been made in today's blogosphere, wondering if Mitt Romney realizes the lyric was written by a progressive feminist to critique the country's excess and growing economic inequality of the day. Today was the day in 1960 that 4 black college students began their sit-in at a lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina, after they were refused. Late Night with David Letterman premiered 30 years ago tonight on NBC then. Don Everly is 75 today, Lisa Marie Presley 44. Clark Gable was born the 1st of February, 1901. If you count iPads, Apple is now the top computer maker in the world. They're number one. And maybe look for the iPad 3 in just a few weeks. Apple CEO Tim Cook sent out an email to employees, says he's outraged by any worker mistreatment at Foxconn, where they make all the products. Even so, thousands lined up Monday outside company headquarters in Shenzhou to apply for jobs. 100,000 of them, 100,000 new hires to make just the iPhone 5. Meanwhile, back in the States, liquor sales are up, stealing market share away from beer, and that's seen as a sign of an improving economy. The top shelf is getting dusted off as during a recession, retailers see consumers go for value brands. Topping that list, vodka. But a San Francisco bartender says San Franciscans don't care if it's good times or bad. They just like to drink. Down in Los Angeles last night, a woman managed to drive off in an LAPD squad car. Officers had left it running during a standoff in Pacoima, and she just got in and left the scene. All except one of the 70 households of Sodeto, Spain, bought into El Gordo, the annual national Christmas lottery. Depending on the number of tickets bought from the local homeowners association, all the residents of the farming community inland from Barcelona shared in the $950 million bounty, except one. The man who didn't buy a ticket is a Greek filmmaker. His girlfriend had left, so he'd put the farm up for sale. Well, it's now been sold, and he's out of there. And so are we. Until tomorrow, this is Dan Earhart. The rest of the news.